Okay, well, good evening. My name is Craig Blanchett, and it is my privilege to host our Coach Huddle on this is Tuesday. We start at 6. I don't know where 6 came from, but it's going to be 8 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays. You can catch this huddle if you go to YouTube and type in Health Coach Huddle and my name. You'll be able to find our weekly huddles. It's also on Vimeo. So we are excited about that. One of the things that we want to talk about here is during the week when you make connections with your clients, or excuse me, with your coaches, remind them about this because we're still kind of developing a regular habit of folks joining us here on the Tuesday night huddle. And then secondary thing that we want to have you do is have a pen and a piece of paper handy so that you can take some notes, because there'll be things that will be said that will be noteworthy. And one of the things that I write down when I take my notes, I've got a normal thing, and so I just turn it around the other way, and I start from the back to the front when I have notes from meetings that I attended, and just my day-to-day to-dos go from the front to the back. So that may be something you want to do. And if it's something that comes up that you don't understand, just put a little question mark next to the note. If it's something that it's a to-do item, maybe you put a little box in front of it. So when you do it, you can check it off. And then if it's something that you need to follow up on, you might put a little asterisk or a star next to it. So you know you need to follow up and ask more questions about it. So, but those are a couple tools that I use for taking notes. And I want to see if we have some new faces on tonight. Let's see here. Wonder if I'm in the right outline. Yeah, I am. Okay, good. So let's see here. Do we have any new faces? Looks like everybody that's here is.
We're all regulars.
You're all regulars. Awesome.
It's like Cheers on this Zoom.
Yep. Now that's exactly it. Now, Eileen, Eileen, you're part of Alex's team, and so Alex is having a separate huddle now. 3 weeks out of the month, they're going to be doing their own separate huddle. So if you pop over to Alex's room, you'll see the rest of the gang over there. You know that number?
So is that going on now?
Right now, yep.
Oh,
and so it's the 360-600 number. Which is
sorry. Okay.
No, it's hey, we'll see you soon. But I just want to let you know we've split up to divide.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Okay. It's good to see you, though.
Later. I'll go to his then. We'll see.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.
I didn't kick her out. Stop saying that, you guys. All right, so that's a couple things that we do is we're going to get started so you know where to find the recording later, and the folks that are watching the recording know when to be here live. And I want to toss this over to Linda Benson to get us started with our first segment. So welcome, Linda Benson.
Thank you. Hi, guys. This is an awesome little crew we have tonight, and the coolest thing that I know Craig and Carrie and Don and I want to encourage is all of us are peers, and we want to create that dynamic and community together. And part of that is sharing celebrations together, even if it's small. So I want to take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, and since we have such a small group, maybe each person could take 1 minute and share either a personal celebration this week. It could be a part of your own health. It could be a healthy habit that you've put into play, or maybe it's a professional activity that you've done this week. And if neither one of those are pertinent, you could also share maybe what about last week's meeting generated some excitement, or maybe activity or action or consistency in your business this week. So either professional celebration or personal celebration. And I think we could all probably say 1 to 2 things if we're checking in with our clients and asking them that question. So we should be able to think of one. So I'm going to put you all on the spot, and I'm going to make Rita, because you're on my screen. Rita, do you have a personal or professional celebration, or maybe both this week? If you had 1 minute to share, what might that be, so we can encourage one another?
Definitely being on the spot. Oh my goodness.
I did.
Well, really getting back, for me, getting really back to dialing in my schedule. If I don't really put things on my schedule and plan out, I get all over the place. And so this week I've been real diligent because I'm in the health games and, of course, got Zooms and stuff and workshops, but also my own personal calls. And I'm very good with my client calls, but things fall between the cracks, and I've noticed that, and I've gotten sloppy. And so I've really dialed that back in and started to really tighten that up, because I get frustrated and then my mind runs amok, and that's not a good thing. So that's been a really good thing. Discipline.
Good.
Getting back to anyway.
That's all. You know what I love is we can all take an aspect of that and realize when you put the work in to create some structure, people, potential clients, potential coaches might not fall through the cracks as much. So thank you, Rita, for sharing that. Dawn, what about you?
I think for me, I really loved our conversation last week and talking about our why and our why for coaching, because I feel like it's been about 4 years since I started, and sometimes I kind of lost a little of my enthusiasm. And I want to say that hearing other people share last week what sparks your fire and what keeps you going for coaching just really reignited a lot of that in me. And so I want to thank you all for sharing that. And so I've spent a little time putting some thought into it for me. And I just feel like, the sparks are going again. So thank you.
Dude, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That makes such a difference. This is part of the reason why we get together. I love that. And I totally lied. I don't think, unless Craig gives me a different heads up, it's 9:09, and I want to make sure we get to our other speakers. So I'm going to let one more person share. So whoever comes off mute first. One personal or professional, or maybe both, celebration from this week. I know Clark has one. Clark, I'm putting you on the spot, and maybe after the recording we can all chip in and share a little bit more. But I want to hear Clark share a little bit and encourage us.
Well, I did two things. What Linda's talking about is I did my first Facebook Live. We were talking before, and actually it was a lot of fun. I thought that there was only about 15 views until Craig corrected me tonight. It shows that I have not been looking at my Facebook as often as possible. But one of the other things I've done this week is I've been working on connecting with people. I went back and reread a section of a book that really pointed to a lot of things I'm not doing and need to improve on. So I've been working on that. And that's been kind of exciting. Revelations that make me more excited about going out, trying out new ways of talking to people.
That's awesome. And that was a big deal for you to go live, right, Clark? You haven't done that yet on Facebook?
It was. I pulled my coach in. Rita helped me practice it a few times. We revamped it, and then I went ahead and pushed the button and did it. And I saw these little like things floating across the screens. Well, somebody's liking it.
Someone's liking it. That's amazing. I love that. And you are going to impact people in your sphere. So I know with our amazing little team, we could probably all share some either personal or professional things. But we'll pause that now, be encouraged, and I'll let Craig shift it to the next segment of our training. Thanks for sharing, guys.
Yeah, Don's up next. So welcome, Don. By the way, Lenan, good to see you. I know it's late over there in New York, but I'm glad to see you on. So Don's up next, and she's going to be talking about our National Optimal Health Day and go into a couple of ideas on that. So welcome, Don.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah, I am really excited to talk about this topic because I love having get-togethers, and I love that that's part of what we get to do as coaches is just look at I'm always looking for an excuse, an opportunity to kind of pull people in and help them, be part of my community and spread a little health around that way as well. And so I guess I want to start with a question. How many of you, and I want a big show of hand, have ever hosted any kind of get together, birthday, anniversary party, dinner party? Yeah, so it looks like most all of us have hosted something. And so I guess what I want to encourage you in that is having an optimal health party is no different than hosting any other garden party that you've ever had before. The only difference is that, we're hopefully going to inspire people to really want to work on their health a little bit more. And so Optavia has done a little work for us. They've already set the date. It's the 27th. And so oftentimes that's the trickiest part, is getting the date on the calendar. And so I want to, but I don't want you to get stuck there, because think of how many times you've had, birthdays or anniversaries that fell in the middle of the week and you've decided, oh, that's not going to work. We'll do it on Saturday. We'll do it on Sunday. And so don't be stuck with that date. If that date's not going to work for you and you still want to do something, which we really want to encourage you to do something, pick another day. Pick something else. I know our team here in Spokane, we're going to do the 29th as our Optimal Health Celebration Day. You should have received an email with some great links for some different flyers that you can access and use to help promote. And so I really want to throw it out, though, because I'm curious about this first. How many of you have already done some type of healthy happy hour or health and hope night or discover your optimal health kind of thing for other years? Lots of us? Awesome. So I guess I'd like to throw it out and have some of you share, hopefully you're willing to share, some of your ideas. What are some things that have worked as you've had these types of events? And just like to learn from each other. So anybody would like to jump in first?
By the way, welcome, Stephanie. That's my mom, in case you guys didn't know.
Yeah.
And she's done lots of healthy happy hours.
Actually, they weren't really happy, healthy hours. But,
well, they were get-togethers. For
yeah,
sure.
they were get-togethers, and we had lots of food, and we had lots of fun, and we shared a lot of stuff.
Yep.
I did one with just one lady today.
Awesome.
I cooked her spaghetti squash, and I showed her how to make the French toast, and
Exactly. And you know what? That's exactly what our healthy happy hours pretty much look like, is we enjoy some great food together. We have some great conversation. Oftentimes we'll share, where we're at with our health journey and just, really focus on encouraging each other. So I think you're right on with that, Stephanie. I love it. So.
Yeah, she got pretty excited. She's ready for me to come back to Eugene, and she's going to invite all her friends.
Perfect. That's great. That's great. So
I have 4.
Anyone else? I know Craig mentioned last week that he had a get together where they went for a walk together. So it doesn't have to be necessarily centered around food. It can be centered around an activity.
Yeah, well, this was a suggestion from last year's Optimal Health Day. And they said, what if you were to just go to your neighbors and say, hi, we're neighbors. And I'm a health coach, and I'm getting together with some other people to, we're going to do a neighborhood walk, and then we're going to meet up for a little, basically a little mingling so we can get to know each other. And I gave them a little flyer that showed the date and the time. And we had about 12 people show up, and almost all of them brought their dogs. Mm-hmm. And it was just, we walked for 1 mile. I mean, it wasn't very long, but it was a nice walk. And so it accomplished a number of things. First one is it gave me a little bit of a reputation to the neighbors that I was somebody that it was interested in health. And it also allowed us to get to know one another. So it accomplished some pretty cool things at just a basic level.
Awesome.
Yeah, what?
Carrie, go ahead.
Because Dawn and I have done some together, like, where it is simple, just opening the doors and having conversation and creating opportunity for people to share where they're at, where they want to be, and finding connection there. One of my favorite ones, though, it took a little more planning, but we did a Zumba night, and it was awesome. And we encouraged even people that had never done it before, they'd stand in the back and be very entertained. And then we did door prize drawing, and then went through just different ways to burn calories, the S's. So it was fun because we connected it with health coaching, and it had an activity. I think we had water bottles, so I didn't focus around food, but all the rest of ours have been around food. So, yeah.
You had a water chugging contest. Is that what you did?
Yeah, we did like the water bottle stands. We had people kind of like a keg stand on. No, we didn't. No.
No. Exactly. So any other suggestions, things that people have done that have been fun and successful?
I just have a question, actually. Right now I'm sitting in my car in the dark. So yes. Anyways, so would you suggest like doing a Facebook invite or a physical piece of paper invite? Which one do you think would be like the best, or do both? Like what do you have any suggestions about that?
When we've done our parties, we do all of the above. So we will do a Facebook. I just put a Facebook invite out today for our party. But we'll do lots of calling. Back when I used to have a place to go to work too, I would bring flyers to work and share them at work. So that's one idea. But just I find that it's important to over-invite because people are busy. And we just trust that the people who need to be there are going to be there that night.
And follow up, because you think you're bugging them to death, but really and truly people forget. Life gets busy, and they sometimes don't mean to not show up. They really want to come, but they forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Great.
used to always feel like I was bugging people to death, and I learned that, you almost can't, they'll let you know if you're bugging them too much.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Great point. Yeah. So got time for one more tip, something somebody would like to share? Anyone? So we try to keep them light. We try to keep them fun. We also don't make a really big deal out of talking about our coaching necessarily. We just let the conversations evolve and really focus on encouraging people to work on their health wherever they're at. And it seems like the coaching piece just kind of comes up, and similar to what Craig said, it tends to brand us as those healthy people who want to cheer for other people who are trying to work on their health. And that's really what we kind of tune in and focus on. So I hope that's been helpful. Carrie and I and I'm sure I saw lots of hands when you guys were saying that you've already done these types of events. Connect with each other, connect with your mentor if you've got questions. If it feels a little scary, that's okay. Whenever you try something new, it's a little scary, but we want to be here to support you and encourage you to, reach out and just give it a try. You'll enjoy it.
And I'm kind of curious too, is if you do have something like Christina and I talked, and we just talked about some different options. And so one of the things we talked about with her was maybe it's not an option to host an event at your house. That's like, for whatever reason, that's too big of a first step. Maybe you don't host events at your house ever. And so I was thinking of what if there was another coach? She lives down by Charlene Green, if you can believe that, right? And I was like, what if we connected you with Charlene Green, and you could maybe bring a couple of your friends and go to her event? Or, maybe you have an event where you don't even bring people in your house. You just do a neighborhood walk, a dog walk, a healthy dog walk. And you just say every 2 minutes, you say switch partners, and everybody switches and finds something new about their neighbor, But So dumb it down to as simple as you can make it and still do the connection, because that's the most valuable piece that we miss.
Charlotte
Exactly.
Green and I are going to be best friends.
You know, I try.
She's 20 minutes outside of me where I'm at. So, yeah, I decided.
Yeah.
I decided.
Great. I love it. That's such a great point. Thanks for sharing that. You know, and actually one year I couldn't do a party and I just brought a healthy snack to school and we met in the staff room and shared. And so, yeah, think outside the box and figure out how can you. So, all right. So I'm going to pass it to Carrie and she's going to kind of wrap us up tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, Dawn. I have liked everybody contributing a little bit. I guess not everybody, most of you. So the next challenge as far as action goes is very important. And I understand that some of you, it might scare you to even think about opening the door or even being part of planning something. And others, it just sounds exciting, but you haven't done it yet. And then some just need to do it again. And so I would love to hear from everybody. And I know my mentor coach is on this call. And so I know that we have our family tree going on. So as you are listening, if you have a coach on this call, pay attention to what they're saying so you can follow up. So there's some accountability. And I know for me, I am more likely to take action when I have actually vocalized it, instead of, oh yeah, I need to think about that. Gone. So if anybody is willing to share what your action step or goal, whether that's putting a date on the calendar or sending a message to your coach team to actually nail something down. Like Craig said, if it's just connecting with a neighbor and getting some type of conversation going, but just something that is actually in action would be awesome to share. And it would be great to hear from every single person on the call.
For me, we watch our granddaughter on Wednesday nights. It was Thursday. We just switched it to Wednesday. And on the 27th is the second time we're going to have her. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have to have it on a Wednesday. I could do it on a Saturday. And then I heard about another coach that does a Tuesday night and a Thursday night neighborhood walk. Every Tuesday, she doesn't talk about, they just talk and walk. And so that inspired me to, I've got all these people in my neighborhood that walk all the time. Well, what if I was the ringleader and we got them all to walk at the same time? We could get to know each other, right? And just let it go. Maybe it takes 3 months of walking once a week before they start to ask questions. That's okay. Because believe it or not, I'm getting to know my neighbors, and that's a good thing. It's not just all about building clients. It's about building community. So anyway, that's my next project is to organize a neighborhood walk and, be that ringleader there.
That's awesome. What else?
Well, my next action step is to follow up, be better about following up. And Craig and I are going to talk more about this because he's my mentor, but I'm really horrible at following up. So I think I put too much pressure on myself to do that. So that's going to be my action step. I'm doing a lot of salt and peppering of my people. And it's not a secret. I'm a health coach. And so there's just a lot of relationships being built and I'm really enjoying it. So having that and being able to just keep following up with them and bugging them, like Mom said, to just keep reminding and keep that health goals in the forefront and being able to just be more aware of what they need and what they want and how we can help get them there. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah. I think for me, it's, the invite's out there on Facebook. So now it's time for me to start really, putting some action behind it and start making some phone calls and really messaging and reaching out to people. So that's going to be my action for the week, is to really work hard to get the word out about our get together and encourage people to come.
And by the way, we have a power hour tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And if you've never been part of a power hour, you can join and we basically do an activity. Your activity could be show up at 8 a.m. Pacific and spend 30 to 40 minutes with a bunch of other coaches, and you could create a Facebook event, print out your flyers, invite 2 or 3 people, right? And you can actually, when you have it scheduled on your calendar to do it and other people are showing up, stuff gets done. So we do it Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So it's 8 on Wednesday, 7 a.m. on Thursday, and 9 a.m. on Saturday. So we have 3 every week. So that's an option there too.
Who else? I can start calling on people like Linda. Linda, what do you have going on?
We're actually sharing what are we thinking of doing for the National Health Day?
Yeah, action.
Well, I think I'm going to try and get on the power hour tomorrow. And I was just thinking of the most relevant life scenario I'm in and how that makes it easier for me to do something. So I was thinking, how could I maybe do like a moms and families activity, and we could just go to a park, and who would I invite for that, and how could I involve the coaches I have here and not make it overwhelming, because things are a little bit more complicated right now, but make it doable. And so I was just writing down some ideas. And so I think tomorrow I'll get on the power hour and then invite the 4 main people and get some ideas going.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Carrie.
Yes. So would you be getting people together just to talk, to connect, or would you have more of a focus as you're telling people about it?
Well, the goal would be to get people together, maybe focus on the moms that I've been reaching out to, and probably do it on a Saturday or a Friday versus Wednesday. Give myself a little bit more time. So yeah, definitely get together in person. Have some recipes maybe printed out or something.
Cool. Lynn Ann, what about you?
Where's my thing?
You're unmuted. You're good.
Okay. Well, I went to fix my phone the other day, so I'm connecting the thing that we started with the action step, and I got in this huge conversation with a young dad, and he's like, I'm so excited about my company, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm excited about my company. So he would say something and I would share, and we just connected on the level of being passionate about being surrounded by like-minded people and wanting to improve yourself and your life and the lives of other people. So we've made this connection, and his wife, they are expecting their second baby, and he's like, well, I don't know, you probably don't have anything I'm like, we have a nursing moms program. So after the baby comes, and we can have a discussion. So I thought, this is great. I mean, I was just trying to be positive, trying to be, somebody was saying living out loud, and Christina just saying, it's no secret that she's a health coach, and I want to be that way. So I have business cards, and I'm going to go around town. I mean, it's not a huge town, but go around to different gyms and places where they teach yoga, and they have massage, and connect with people and see what they're up to, and if we can have a melding of the minds.
That's awesome.
Hey, Lynn Ann, what if you, instead of dragging business cards, what if you had a National Optimal Health Day thing and you organized something? What if you did something like that?
And take flyers?
Maybe at one of these gyms, and you said, hey, they're having this big day thing, and what if we did something at your gym to bring people that aren't members to your gym? I'll bet they would go, yes, please.
Oh
yes,
my gosh. Okay. Can we talk about that later?
Of course. Not later tonight,
Yes,
but probably.
not later tonight, please. It's like, 11:30 here,
Ugh.
but I'm excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Great. Thank you.
You're a firecracker, Lynn Ann. You just get out there.
Well, I got to get the horse in the stall, you know, as I tell Martin, poor Martin.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share before we wrap her up?
I just wanted to say I need, it's not that I mean, I want, but I need to get out of my comfort zone more often. And part of that for me for this next week for the Optimal Health Day would be to connect with Charlene Green, because I need to. And we're supposed to be best friends. So I'm thinking if we're best friends and we connect and I can share in some of that and bring some friends, like that's kind of a thing now. So I have to. And I feel like I needed to say that out loud to make it more real for myself.
Thank you. That's so great. Charlott's gonna love you, by the way. One of the things that I'd like you to do is I posted some things in the chat. By the way, thank you, Carrie, Linda, and Dawn for leading us through our meeting today. Optavia sent out an email to everybody that had information about National Optimal Health Day. So these links are in that email. If you can search for National Optimal Health Day, but I posted those, and they're just some demo PDF flyers that you can print out and write your name on. And then I also put in hosting tips. So if you click on that first link there, those are some tips if you've never hosted an event before. And you don't have to do all of them. You can do one of them. Okay? The main thing is if you do nothing, nobody changes. Right? Not even you. And so do something. Even like my mom, she just said, Stephanie, she's like, well, we had a healthy happy hour with one other person. Well, you know what? That was a big deal. That one other person got to do something. Actually, two people got affected by that event, you and the person you were with. And so I just want to encourage you guys with that. And then I did put the Health Coach Power Hour. If you click on that, that will actually show you when we do the power hours. And down in the bottom right corner of that window that pops up, you can add it to your Google Calendar so you can see when they are and if they change and things like that. So that's all in the chat window for tonight's meeting. So,
and if you figure out the one thing that you have a passion for and love and feel that you're good at, and you keep pursuing that, and mine is recipes and cooking.
mm-hmm.
And people know that I have recipes, and they send their friends to me for recipes.
Yep. There you go.
And of course, I love to make them also, but
so yeah, find out something that you love that has nothing, that may or may not have anything to do with health, and get together with other people. Because bottom line, all of those people aren't as healthy as they want to be. So that's something you're all going to have in common. But let's get together with people that have a different interest. You know, dogs, walking, crochet, you know, scrapbooking. You could be a billion things. Bunko. So, all right, you guys. So we're going to finish up our meeting tonight. We want to try to keep these as close to 30 minutes so they're light and you get some content. You get to share your updates. So I want you guys to be tracking your breakthroughs. Sometimes if you don't pay attention to the good things, you won't see them. I want to encourage you guys to look for the good in the world. It's all over the place. I'd love for you all next week to come with a client story that you're just super excited about. Something's going on in this life that you get to be part of, watching them change. You know, I love when Dawn said, you know, when I used to have a job, and that was so fun to hear her say that, because we've been working together for a long time. And she's like, yep, the days are numbered. And now she's full-time as a health coach. And I put quotes around full-time. It's definitely different than a full-time teacher. And so, so I want to encourage you guys with looking for something good that you can come share. And we're going to have the training portion, and then we're going to have the action item at the end. And so I want to see Facebook messengers. If I'm your primary mentor, Put the action item for some accountability of the thing that you want to do this week. Even if you don't know what that is, I expect a Facebook Messenger that says, help! Okay? But every one of you that I'm your primary mentor, I want to see a Facebook message, and let's move the ball down the street. Okay, guys? We will see you next week, if not sooner. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.